elbows out, and you have to look down at your stem. That's the ultimate way to climb.
Welcome to the GCN Show. We're on tour at the Red Bull hangar in Austria.
Coming up, is Aero important to you?
And Dan Lloyd wraps up all the national championships, although he didn't bother turning up for this. Cheers,
Missed
Dan.
his flight, mate.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Plus, we've got a Tech of the Week from McDonald's.
McDonald's, Tech of the Week.
McDonald's. Yeah. And don't forget as well, we've got all our usual favourites like Tweet of the Week, Caption, and Comment of the Week.
You give us a hand. Looking forward to this.
Yeah. Lloydie's going to be gutted that he missed this. Just going to look.
Yeah.
Hair really is looking good today.
Cheers, Simon. To be honest with you, yours is looking very good as well.
Thanks, mate. Thanks.
And lovely curls. Some nice texture.
Yeah, no, I have textured it today.
Thought so.
So this week's show is coming to you live from the launch of the new Scott foil. Now that's it over there, very capably taking Dan's place in this week's GCN show. Now we have got up close and personal with this. There's a full video about it. If you want to see it, the link to it is in the description below this video, or actually it's in the end board as well.
But in a nutshell though, we showed you some sneak preview pics of this bike last week from the Tour de Suisse. But basically Scott completely redesigned their Aero bike, making it 6 watts faster, weighing in at only 945 grams, and they've addressed the issue of comfort, which is something that's traditionally played third fiddle in the Aero bike list of design priorities.
Yeah, now Aero bikes are not new, but they are getting faster and they are getting more comfortable, so it's becoming an increasingly big thing for the road cycling industry. So we want to know, does aerodynamics matter to you? To us, in fact, as well. Will you consider buying an Aero bike as your next bike?
Yeah, we chatted the product manager at Scott to see who will ultimately benefit from and buy the new Aero bikes.
Nowadays, you can even see the recreational cyclists riding on aerodynamically optimized wheel sets. So in general, I believe that becoming faster on the bike is very important, not only for the pros, but also for the recreational cyclists.
Now, what's your take on it, mate?
I think if you're a rider that's looking for that extra edge and basically want to go faster and you're optimizing your speed, I mean, it's something to definitely consider. It's proven in the wind tunnel, the data is there, but I think it's important that you combine, the aerodynamics of the bike with making sure that your aero as well to totally optimize your position on the bike.
Yeah, you know what, actually, I think that's a very good way to tell whether you should buy an Aero bike. How much time do you spend on your rides adjusting your body position to make yourself more aerodynamic? If the answer is not at all, then probably an Aero bike isn't going to matter to you. But if, like me, you're often riding in a kind of aerodynamic position to try and just get a little bit faster, then it makes complete sense. But
there's a third thing as well. I mean, even if you ride in a pretty upright position, you're kind of new to the sport. I mean, look at that. It's a thing of beauty. So it's about what you want, and that is a pretty aesthetically pleasing.
If you like the look of Aero bikes, buy an Aero bike.
It's going to turn heads.
Yeah, but we also obviously want to know what you guys think as well. Does aerodynamics matter to you? Let us know in the comment section down below. We want to know.
Hashtag Aero, is it everything? An odd one this, but interesting nonetheless. McDonald's have launched the Bike Bag. So you can go to your local drive-thru, get your stuff, and slot it neatly onto the handlebars.
Yeah, maybe not your local drive-thru though. It's still very much
good point
at the concept stage at the moment, but packaging looks super neat. Unfortunately, it's got a Big Mac inside, but let's face it, it helps you transport your McDonald's produce to your chosen destination. And when you get there, you unfold it. There's neat slots for your fries, your burger, and your Diet Coke.
Yeah, for myself and Dan, who sadly isn't with us on this particular trip, the arrival of the Bike Bag is a timely one because, let's face it, French fries in your bottle holder, they tended to cool a little bit too quickly. And let's face it, a hamburger sellotaped to your handlebars just didn't quite cut it.
Yes! Oh, what a day it was!
Oh, Jesus, Matt.
It was 16 years ago. Take it off.
Now, thinking of Dan, actually, it's probably about time we went over to Dan live at GCN HQ to get all the roundup of this week's National Championships results.
Battle for the stripes.
Yeah.
Different colour ones.
Actually, anyway, before we get to Dan, let's just take a minute to talk about your national title again, Matt, shall we?
Can somebody give me a hand?
Many new road and time trial champions have been crowned throughout Europe and some of the rest of the world over the last week. Now, unfortunately, there's so many that we haven't actually got time to go through each and every winner, but we have got a few highlights for you now. Now, ominously, Vincenzo Nibali's build-up to this year's Tour de France is almost exactly mimicking that of last year's. He put in a dominant performance over in Italy to retain his national champion's jersey. And that jersey he received on the podium, but the rumours are that Astana will be giving him his Hungarian's jersey back in time for the start of the Tour de France this Saturday. Now, Pete Kenyon managed to do exactly the same thing, defending his title in Great Britain ahead of Mark Cavendish, and Peter Sagan did so as well in Slovakia, where he also took the time trial title. Other Tour de France notables include Alejandro Valverde and Rui Costa, who managed to win the Spanish and Portuguese titles respectively. There was some fantastic racing over in the Netherlands, where Nicky Terpstra, despite being the only representative of Ethics Quick-Step, managed to outpower and outfox a number of teams with a numerical advantage to take his third Dutch title. Now, a shout out to a few riders who managed to do the double apart from Peter Sagan. Bob Jungels and Christine Macherus in Luxembourg, Edvald Boasson-Hagen in Norway, Sergei Tvetkov in Romania and Daniela Rice over in Portugal were amongst a number of riders who managed to take both the road and time trial titles in their respective countries. Now, over in Great Britain, Lizzie Armitstead managed to bounce back from a horrible crash at the end of the Women's Tour Stage 1, which she won, and she tweeted this picture of herself crossing the line afterwards, saying, "Safety first," of course a reference to only taking one hand off the bars. Now, meanwhile, over in France, it was fantastic to see the world champion Pauline Ferrand-Prévot back to racing. She managed to take the women's title there, whilst in the men's it was little-known Stephen Tronnay who took the title. However, that was partly due to a humongous crash in the last 400 metres, which took down a number of riders, amongst them Nasser Bouhanni. Now, he did crash quite hard, and soon after the race he tweeted this picture himself, saying, "Definitely out of the Tour de France due to a fracture." However, there was relief for both him, his fans, and primarily, I think, Team Cofidis, because later he did say that he should be on the start line in Utrecht on Saturday.
Caption of the week now. Last week we gave you this excellent photograph of Peter Sagan riding up a first cup climb with his jersey stuck over his head.
And the winner is Philip C12, another cracking name. Philip says, caption. Now, I understand why cyclists don't celebrate intermediate sprints by taking their shirts off like footballers do. Serious catching up to do. Nice one, Philip C12.
That was an excellent caption. Philip C12, get in touch and we will send you some GCN swag. Now, this week's photograph, well, that's a belter, isn't it?
Certainly is.
Let's throw to Lloydie, see what he can do back at GCN HQ.
Once again, we shall get you started, or I shall, as I'm here on my own. Well, they told me I had to keep my hands to myself, but they didn't say anything about my feet. Boom.
Well,
that's not great, is it?
I'm sure you guys can do far better than that.
Yeah, leave your captions in the comments section down below.
Comment of the week.
First up, we've got Matt Holy. So underneath the worst things about cycling, we asked you what it was that you didn't like. Matt said, everything in this video, apart from taking a wee, is actually what I love about cycling, which is interesting. But
nice one.
Yeah, great.
We've got another one. This is from a cracking name. Mercury Spooning. Don't know how he came up with that, but there we go. That's another subject entirely. Dan Lloyd, you look smashing with that beard. My girlfriend is all over it. Don't shave it though. You used to look like
I'll tell you what, poor old Dan, he's stuck between a rock and a hard place, isn't he? Because I've heard it, many people say that currently he looks like a bit of a twit with his beard. What's he going to do?
I don't know how he's going to take it forward. On the channel this week, on Wednesday, how to improve your body position to become more aero.
Biggest enemies of the cyclist is wind resistance. But one way to get round it is to drop into another rider's slipstream using a technique known as drafting.
Getting this skill dialed in will not only help you stay with faster riders on flat roads, but it's also the main reason why groups of cyclists can travel so much faster together, as you save vast amounts of valuable energy.
Thursday, top 10 riders to watch out for at the Tour de France. Friday, we've got another fantastic Hannah Grant recipe.
Then it's ready to go into the oven at 170 degrees Celsius for about 20 to 25 minutes until it's nice and golden.
Normal program resumes. We've got Jerome Capel's Scott Addict. And Sunday, it's Off the Back.
And on Monday, we've got how to mend a tyre, or how to replace a tyre in record time.
Yeah.
And Tuesday, we're back on the sofa.
Indeed we are. But also, let's not forget, we have got a super exclusive interview with Chris Froome, recorded at home just prior to the Tour de France. Should we have a sneak preview?
I'm so excited about this one. I've seen some stills, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really excited today because just a few weeks before the Tour de France, we've been given some time by none other than Chris Froome, the winner just a couple of years ago. Chris, thank you so much for taking the time out in this last lead up to the Tour. As we film this, you've just come out of the Criterium de Dauphiné, 2 stage wins and the overall. That must give you a lot of confidence for the next few weeks.
Yeah, it was, I mean, it was a tough week. I've just seen young Pete Kennan this morning, and first thing he said was, I feel like I've just ridden a Grand Tour. Elbows out, and you have to look down at your stem. That's the ultimate way to climb.
Tweet of the week. Now, tweet of the week this week comes from Paul Hales, otherwise known as @LCYCalm03.
Is he famous? He is now.
He kind of is now, so follow him if you want to and see what Paul Hales has got to say on a weekly basis. But for this tweet of the week, he says, @RealStevens, Matt, how about a GCN piece on riders swallowing insects? I swallowed 2 on my training ride tonight and didn't need any dinner. They must have been enormous.
Yeah, that's amazing. You know what? I had a little Google actually about swallowing flies on your ride. Apparently, it's completely harmless.
Oh, they're full of protein, aren't they, apparently?
Yeah, well, and also they don't survive for very long in your stomach.
Time for Extreme Corner. Now, as we all know, downhill mountain biking is a hard and quite demanding sport at the very best of times, but you can scale that up by tenfold if you're using a prosthetic arm. That's exactly what Lewis Edwards is doing in the next video. Chapeau.
Sofa.
Yeah, now, we said at the beginning of the show that if you want to see more about the new Scott foil, then there's a video. If you want to get through to that video now, click just up there.
And if you want to learn how to improve your functional threshold power and say that effectively, click down here. And it guest stars Alexis Ryan of United Healthcare.
Very nice indeed. And obviously, before you leave to go to either of those, do make sure you're subscribed to GCN. You can do that by clicking on Austria.
Look on those mountains, slightly occluded by cloud, but nonetheless, they're there somewhere.
Probably a bit blown out actually, but if you guys can see, there's also a castle you can click on.
Just click on this part of your kind of screen, whether you're on a kind of, I don't know, an iPad type device or an iPhone.
Salzburg, isn't it?
Or something. Is it Salzburg?